Hi everyone, I'm Shash and I have Pratik with me here.
Hi Shash,
How's it going, man?
going pretty good.
How's the market looking for you?
I think BTC, we might see a little bit of correction in BTC towards 44 to 46 before the continuation of the next step, because the resistance at 42K was broken, and after that, it would be a good idea for BTC to go towards 50, come back to retest the flip of resistance to support, and then continue the bullish momentum. So I think a drop down towards 44K is likely in the next few days, followed by move towards 50K and plus.
From a slightly more zoomed out perspective, right? From a slightly more macro perspective, do you think this move to 50, 52, 55 is going to lead to a slightly longer bear market, or do you think we will cross all time highs again this year?
So, quite frankly speaking, September, I mean, mainly the fourth quarter of 2021 is looking pretty bullish, and it was a good indication that we dropped down to add a lot of liquidity towards the early 30K region, and also we saw a drop below the 30K, which was immediately bought back. We didn't stay there. Of course, it was fueled by most of the FUD around this market. But technically speaking, and just not taking the fundamental factors into consideration, so 30K was a very good support area, and we saw a drop down towards that area to tap liquidity. And 42K was a good resistance area. So in between that, there was no clear direction. But as soon as 42K broke, it is a sign of a continuation of a bullish momentum. And like I said, so if we can revisit 42K, so if this move would have been just going up towards 50, 52, 54K, then probably we would have not targeted breaking the all-time high. But as per the Elliott waves, so this is a good sign that we broke 42K, went up towards 50K, and now we are trying to tap back around 42, 44 to 46K region. And if we can establish a good support at that point between around $44,000, so then we can clearly start seeing ATHs probably towards the end of this quarter, and that would very much be in the books.
I don't know. I think when we went to 60 65K last time, there was a lot of retail and regular investor FOMO that drove us all the way from 20K to 60 65K. It was pretty much unstoppable, right? But as of now, I see a lot of old existing crypto money that's interested right now, but don't see too much new money, that kind of FOMO that retail had happening right now. That coupled with some of the regulatory uh, like you know issues that we're seeing come about, and I don't know if it is a part of like a bigger manipulation or something else. But we I kind of feel that we could go either ways, right? Like the charts could say one thing. Fundamentally, I'm kind of gonna be a little more neutral as of now.
That's true. And also, like the previous one was majorly fueled by institutional investors when we saw MicroStrategy and Elon Musk and many of these major players coming into space whose average buying price is now somewhere close to $30,000. So that essentially becomes a technical as well as a good fundamental support, because we all know that these guys would not want to lose money. So, they'll make sure that it always stays afloat above 30K at least. And I also feel like, somewhere there's definitely a manipulation in this space wherein a lot of FUD news keep on coming back to back, back to back, back to back. And once that target has been reached, wherein probably all these major whales are eyeing to get in at 30K region, and then we saw a series of good news coming back to back, wherein the latest one, which was Coinbase investing almost $500 million into various crypto assets,
No,
and before
no,
that,
that's not them investing. That's them having the right to invest in crypto.
yes, they have
Uh,
reserved it for investment into crypto assets. So that becomes a
yeah,
good news again. So probably a series of good news, series of bad news. I also observed this that happens one after the other, one after the other. So this could be a part of something bigger, fundamentally speaking. But technically speaking, I think um, going above $42,000 was a very good sign, and it is staying there. It was not just so. If it would have just reached 42K and broken down, then we would have seen a drop down towards early 20s. But 42K was successfully reclaimed, and we are seeing that it has been above this space for a pretty long time. So this is quite a good sign, and we just need Elon Musk to tweet once again, man, that Tesla is going to start accepting Bitcoin, and then we'll be above all time high pretty soon.
I think that's going to be once bitten, twice shy, right? Like I don't think Elon Musk's Tesla tweets are going to do too much. He'll have to kind of come up with some new stuff. we in crypto, like, I kind of feel that the community becomes immune really fast. Like if we find something exciting once, that trend suddenly doesn't stay, remaining
For
for a really long time. However, I think we need some new blood to kind of get excited about Bitcoin and kind of, you
Yeah,
know,
absolutely. Some major adoptions from bigger institutions, perhaps, or some major banking partners trying to get into this space could definitely fuel this fundamentally. And I think the entire world is now, so we have been around for almost 12, 13 years. So the entire world is definitely seeing the repercussions of being invested and the advantages of being on blockchain. We've Of late we have seen a tremendous hype around the play to earn and gaming industry for that matter.
we will get into play to earn, but I kind of want to go back to Bitcoin just before
Mhm.
we discuss the other stuff. Do you want to kind of share your screen? And I
Yeah,
want to
absolutely.
see what's happening from the volume side, and I want to kind of see if this could be partially a fake out as well. Because as of now, I hear you. I kind of feel that maybe we will touch 44, but that's really short term, right? Like I
Yeah.
hear you, but I don't see us breaking like 55 very easily, very fast somehow, because I just don't see that kind of like excitement in general. But I hope to be wrong, definitely, but kind of trying to be realistic at the same time as well.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think once we've established a good support, and it needs to be in a good accumulation phase at this support zone of around 40 to 42k region as well. Because if we can accumulate around this zone and establish a very decent support, which was the case with 30k initially or 20k for that matter. So in the next quarter or in the first quarter of 2022, we could definitely target reaching the all-time high prices. Essentially, if you zoom out, so this liquidity tap area of 28k, as you can see, there was it as soon as it broke off from the 20k accumulation region, so we saw a run up towards 42k. That is the reason why I really like this 42k support zone, because it did not have any resistance, much resistance on a daily chart. It went up to 42k, came back around 28, 29k, which establishes a firm liquidity demand zone, wherein we have seen major investments from these institutional investors like MicroStrategy or Tesla or many others for that matter. And from there, and Grayscale has a quite a good number of buy-in regions at this particular zone between 22 to $28,000. And then when this 42k resistance was broken, and that's where we targeted reaching our all-time high prices. And again, if you see the drop, Shash, so you can see that as soon as we reached around the 42k zone again, before that there was a good support zone at 46k, which is currently where we are holding. So I have a strong feeling that we might see BTC accumulating around we might see a break of 46k, and we might see an accumulation region around this zone. And then it all depends on if we can break this support. If this support breaks, then we again target 28k. But if this resistance breaks, so then we can definitely target the all-time high price. So these two are good demand and supply zones, so between 46 and 42k. So if we manage to stay and accumulate around this zone, so we could probably start seeing ATHs. And if you zoom out and look at a much macro perspective, so
Yeah, thanks.
so in terms of ATHs, so if you look at the drop from all the way from the ATH price of 65,000 to this support zone liquidity tap at around 30k, so we can definitely see in the 2022 we could probably start seeing these regions. And I'm a very firm believer that we might see BTC above 80k pretty soon. But and by pretty soon, I'm looking at least a year's time, not the next bull cycle, but at least in a year's time, if we can again accumulate in this particular zone till the end of the next quarter. Of this quarter, and then in the next quarter we can start seeing rise towards, of course we'll face some resistance at this zone. This is cleared, so the first bigger target for me would be around 88, 87, $88,000, followed by these would be probably quite over optimistic ranges. And let's just quickly jump into the BTC USD longs on Bitfinex as well.
When we went to the all-time high last time, when we were facing this resistance at 40, 45, were the volumes comparable to what we have right now, or do we have lower volumes right now, or does it even matter?
In terms of fresh volume, yes, it would definitely matter if there is a much high volume and there is a less resistance. So that is when the price is absolutely going to blast through. And the resistance is lower and the volume is also lower, so the price impact would not be as much as what we saw earlier. So one of the good ways to judge that would probably be using the one of the best features to identify this. So we have seen a lot of whales on Bitfinex, especially in the spot market. So in terms of BTC USD longs, so whenever there is a decrement in the number of longs, so that time we'll definitely see a price correction if you relate both the charts together. And as you have seen, so the euphoria that ended somewhere around I think it was 19th of May if I'm not wrong, so where we saw a sudden drop in the number of longs, and that's when the price bottomed. And once it reached $28,000 and $29,000, so you saw that there was a piling up of BTC USD longs. And Shash, if you see, the number jumped. So this was around 26,000 BTC USD longs, and it jumped all the way to 38,000. So almost 12,000 BTC longs on Bitfinex itself. So we definitely saw a repercussion in the price action that way. And like we reached around 50k and then we started dropping. So there was less interest of people buying above 50k. So that's why a reduction in the number of longs. And similarly, if you see the BTC USD shorts on, so this is just for one of the exchanges that we are comparing. Of course, Bitfinex holds a majority of it. So since there have not been a lot of shorts piling up and longs have not also been piling up, so that is the reason why I strongly believe that there's going to be a lot of accumulation region, since nobody is adding to the longs and neither are people adding to the shorts. So if we see a significant movement here in the number of shorts, then we can see a break of price below 42k. And if we see a movement in the number of longs, so we'll see a break of price above 46k, which is where we are currently, and a resume of the uptrend. So if you see again coincide here with the 19th of May, I think it was here. So you saw a huge pileup of shorts, wherein we saw an increase from 2,100 to 11,000. So it was almost a 500% increase in the number of shorts. And that's where we saw a capitulation in the price, followed by these shorts got squeezed out and closed quickly, and that's where the price stabilized around that zone.
Interesting. This seems like an interesting indicator in general. In terms of short term, right now people should just hodl their BTC, right? Like,
I mean, if you want to stay invested in crypto and you don't know where the market is going to be, it's always good to accumulate more BTC. It's a measure of how do you measure your worth. Are you measuring it in fiat or in BTC? So I personally measure it in how many BTC I'll end up holding in the long run. So whenever the market looks a little uncertain to me, I would prefer to split my assets 50% into BTC and 50% in cash reserves, so that I have a good delta to buy in whenever there's a deeper dive correction.
Yeah. I mean, for people like me, at least, like I usually used to trade a lot in BTC because earlier the volumes were all in BTC. And I never really measured the value of stuff in USD or USDT or USDC, which is very popular now. So it became always an issue for me to sort of, now I have to sell BTC, get USDT and trade because there are more volumes, or even if I want to buy something. And that's why like my trading's almost zero now. Like I'm not buying and selling anything. I'm just like, once in a while I would like start accumulating something, place orders, and then just disappear and let it be. True. Anyways, this was really good. Good discussion on BTC. Let us discuss a few more altcoins in the next video.